Hello everyone, welcome to the session on analysis and design of algorithm. In today's session, we are going to learn the second module. So in the second module, as we know that we have two different chapters, that is the brute force approach and another one is divide and conquer method. So in the previous sessions, we have learned the first module, so that is just the introduction about the algorithms and how we are going to write the algorithms and how to analyze the algorithm. So those are all things we have learned, right? But after the second module, we are going to learn the different techniques or methodologies for writing the algorithm. So as in today's session, we are going to learn first approach, that is called as a brute force approach. Okay. So in the module 1, so we are going to learn the brute force approach. Approach is nothing but the straightforward approach, that meaning that the strategy of this brute force approach is just do it. Okay, so here we are going to solve the problem sequentially, and so based on the problem statement only we are going to do the certain operation, that is the some basic operation we are going to perform. So in this chapter we are going to learn some of the problems like sorting, so various solution for the problems like sorting, searching and string matching problem, and then for knapsack problem, and for these kind of problem we are going to get the solution via this brute force approach. As in this session we are going to discuss the first problem, we can say. So here we are going to learn the sorting problem solution. So what do you mean by sorting? Sorting is nothing but arranging the elements in an order, right? So now, so whenever we are going to do the sorting, what we need to do? So we need to arrange in some order, right? So if I want to arrange the element in some order, by that time we need to do what? So we need to do the comparison, and then we need to arrange the elements in some order, right? So that is what we are going to do in this sorting, okay, using this brute force approach. So using the brute force approach we have two different solutions, that is selection sort and bubble sort. So in today's session we are going to learn that selection sort. Okay, the problem is sorting, that is nothing but in some order, that is it might be ascending order or it might be descending order. Sorting is nothing but what? The process of arranging the elements in some fashion. So arranging or rearranging, we can say. So in the brute force approach, for the sorting problem we have two different solutions, so that is the selection sort and the bubble sort. Okay. So in the selection sort, as the name itself is implying, so here we are going to select the smallest element and we are going to place in an appropriate position. What is that appropriate position? So while learning the selection sort we will discuss. Okay, so but the thing is, the concept is, in the selection sort whenever we are going to do the sorting, we are going to pick some minimum element and then we are going to place it in an appropriate position until unless all the elements get sorted, okay, or rearranged. And coming to the bubble sort, in this sorting algorithm also we are going to do the comparison, and then here here we are not going to pick up the smallest element. Instead of that, what we are going to do is we are going to check the neighboring elements, and then if the largest one is there, then we need to do the swapping operation. We are doing what? Just a comparison between any two elements here. That's it. So once it is done, so based on the comparison result, what the action whatever we are going to take, that is the difference between the selection sort and the bubble sort. Okay. So in today's class we are going to learn this selection sort. So what is that selection sort is? So say for example, if you have the elements, so these are the elements, and so these are the elements. So usually, so this elements are going to be accessed through what? The array. So we are going to store these elements in an array, the data structure array, and then if I want to access these elements, we required a indices values, right? So how exactly the selection sort works, right? So now let us see. So now we are going to do the comparison between first element and the second element. So here, so usually the first element and the second element, so if we compare this, so 12 is the smallest element. Let me call this one as minimum element. Okay. Next, this element and this element will be compared. So 12 and 11. So this will be the minimum element. Okay. So next, this and this will be checked. So now this is not minimum, this is only the minimum one. So now there is no action since the 11 is the smallest one compared to the next number. So now next we are going to compare this 11 with 14, that is the minimum value with the 14. By that time also 14 is the greatest one compared to minimum value. So now we got the minimum value, that is the 11. So now I am going to place it in an appropriate position. So 11, so if you are doing this sorting in an ascending order, so it will comes to here. So let me take some value here like this only as it is. Okay. So next, what we need to do, so we have come up with the first sorted element. Now we have remaining of these much of elements. So now again we need to choose the second smallest element and need to place it in an appropriate position. So that is, this is the first position, next 12, next 15, 33, 14. So now we need to sort these three elements. So these two elements got what? Sorted. So now among these three, which is the smallest element, so we need to do comparison and then we need to find out what is the smallest element is, right? So among these, the smallest element is what? 14. So now place it in an appropriate position. Already two elements got sorted. Next element position is the second position, so that now I am going to place the 14 here, 33 and 15 here only. Now what happens? Again we need to check what? So these three elements got sorted. Now we have left out with only two elements. So among these two, which is the smallest element? 15 is the smallest element. Now I am going to place it in an appropriate position. So we have left out with how many elements? Only one element is left out. If you have left out with only one element, do you have any other element to do comparison here? No, right? That means that if you have only one element in the array, no need to go for what? Sorting. So your sorting operation will stop here only. Okay. So now, so once you pick up the smallest one, if you are placing in an appropriate position, so unless you perform all the operations, so we at last, so your elements get sorted. Okay. So like this we can do the sorting. But if you observe here, every time what we are calculating the what is the minimum element position is. Once you get the minimum element positions, we are going to swap with what? So the number of passes. So that is the ith position value. So So if you consider this comparison, for the comparison, if you are considering the j value and if you are comparing the, taking the passes for I values, okay, but that time, so your ith position value is going to be swapped with your minimum position value element is going to be swapped at the end of this iteration. Okay, so in the j is going to use for what? For the number of comparison. Okay, so every time j should start with 0 or what? So first time, yes, it is 0, but after this, so once the first element gets sorted, next we need to start with this position, right? So from which position we need to start? If you are taking this one as an I plus 1th position, our element should get compared. Okay, so if you are taking the first position element as a, so if you are assuming that the first position element is the minimum one, okay, by that time, so this will be considered as an I. So definitely I am not going to compare with the same element, right? So we need to compare with what? The next element. So the next element is what? I plus 1 only. So because of that reason, if your I varies from 0 to n minus 1, so your j varies from where to where? So is it start from 0 every time? No, right? So in this case, it starts with the first position. In this case, from the second position. In this case, from the third position it is starting. So because of that reason, every time your j varies from where to where? I plus 1 to n minus 1. To the last position it is going. But what about your I values? I starts with 0 to, is it going up to n minus 1? So if you are going up to this, I gets increments, sorry, your j gets increments, so j will be initialized to what? I plus 1. Do you have any element to comparison here, to do the comparison here? No, right? So by that time what happens? Here only your element comparison will stop. So because of that reason, we should not go up to 4th position. Instead of that, we need to go up to 3rd position. So if you consider this one as an, what is the number of elements? So n is equal to totally 5 elements we have. 4 means what? N minus 1th position. Therefore what is 3? 3 is nothing but n minus 2. So up to n minus 2 position we need to go. Okay, so now let us write the algorithm. So according to this algorithm, what we need to find out? We need to find out the minimum values position. Once you get the minimum, the smallest value in the array, and that element has to be swapped with what? The first position. First element should be present in the first position. The first smallest element. Next, second smallest element we need to identify and place it in a first position. Next we need to find out the third smallest element in the array and then we need to place it in a second position. Likewise it will be continued until unless it will reach the end of the array. That's it. So in order to find out the smallest of element, what we need to do? So just we need to compare with whatever the minimum value we have taken, that position value, that is a of position or minimum position, is it greater than or lesser than? So it is depending upon whether you are doing the ascending order or in descending order. You need to compare with what? Another element. For in order to do the comparison, which indices we are using? We are using j indices. Okay, so until unless it reach until unless it reach the end of the array, or else you get the elements sorted. Okay, so let us write the algorithm for selection sort. Okay, so now here the selection sort of what are the inputs? The array of n elements. To sort the elements in an ascending order using the selection sort, the inputs are an array of n elements where n is the positive integer, and then output is an array of sorted elements. So the algorithm is selection sort. The parameters are an array of n elements. To sort the given, so what is the purpose of this algorithm? To sort the elements in an ascending order using which sorting algorithm? Using selection sort. So inputs are an array of n elements where n is any positive integer. Output is an array of sorted elements. So for I starts with 0 to n minus 1, perform MP. So this is nothing but identifying the minimum value. So min position. So MP is nothing but minimum position. So initially we are initializing that value to I value, and then ij starts with I plus 1 to n minus 1, do a of MP is greater than a of j. So where MP is, if a of MP is greater than a of j, then your MP will become the j value. So that means that your j value will be minimum compared to this minimum value. So once you find out this, so after this once this j loop terminate, all the comparison has been made, then we need to do the swapping between what? That ith element and the minimum position element. So that is what we need to do. Okay, once you do the swapping, again the control comes back. So next element we are going to do the comparison. So again this process will continue unless you sort all the elements that is present in the array. Okay, so let us see how to trace this. Let us solve for the same set of elements. So that is 15, 12, 11, 33 and 14. Okay, so now what are all the variables if you compare here? So in the algorithm, I is the variable, j is the variable, and MP is also variable, right? So we need, and every time we are checking the condition. If condition we are checking, and we are performing, at last we are performing the swap operation. So let me have those columns. So first ith column, next j column, next MP, that is the minimum element, and then if condition I am checking, if a of MP is greater than a of I, we are going to check, not a of I, it is a of j. Okay, so if so, MP value get changed. Okay, if this condition is true, and then we need to do what? Swapping between a of MP comma a of I, value should be swapped. Okay, so for that I am going to represent the array value as it is. So 15, 12, 11, 33 and 14. Okay, so the indices values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now I starts with what? 0. So I starts with 0. Now MP will be equal to what? 0 as it is. So when I is equal to 0, MP is equal to I. So what is I value? 0. So MP will be initialized to 0. So now J should starts with what? I plus 1. So I plus 1 is nothing but 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So A of MP. So what is MP? 0. So this 0th position element is what? 15. So A of 0 is equal to what? 15 is going to compare with A of J. What is J? 1. So first position element is what? 12. Is it true? 15 is greater than 12. Yes, it is true. If it is true, what is the action? So action is MP will be equal to J. Okay. So MP will be equal to J. What is J value? 1. Okay, it will be equal to 1. Now what happens? So control comes back, I gets increments, sorry, J gets increments. What is J? J is 2, right? So now MP got changed, that is MP position is 1 now. In the first position we have 12. 12 is greater than jth position element, that is second position element, that is 11. Okay, so 12 is greater than 11. Again it is true. Now j is initialized to what? MP, that is 2. Okay, next after the action j gets increments, j is 3. Okay, so now third position element is 33. 33 greater than 11. Is it true? No, it is false. If it is false, no action, just MP will be remain as it is. Your j gets increments, j is 4. Okay, so now the fourth position element, that is 14. 14 is greater than your minimum position element. What is minimum position element? 11. So 11 we are going to check. So 14 is greater than 11, that is also false. Okay, if it is false, MP will be remain as it is. Now your j gets increments, j is 5, but you don't have any elements to do comparison in the fifth position. So if you don't have any element to do with a fifth position, what we need to do? We need to do what? Swapping between MP and AI. So I means what? Zeroth position. So zeroth position element, whatever it is. So now I am going to swap this element with the minimum position value. What is minimum position value? So 2. So now we are going to swap. So A of 11. So second position element will comes to 0. 0th position will comes to here. So 12 and 15, 33 and 14. So this is after the first swap. Okay. Now I gets increments. I value is 1. So now when I is equal to 1, j should starts with what is your MP? MP will be equal to 1 only. See, when I is equal to 1, MP is equal to I. I is what? 1 only. Okay, now j should start with I plus 1. So I is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so now this is over. Now we need to check with these position elements 0, 1, 2 and 3. So second position element is compared with, sorry, now so we need to compare with the minimum position value. What is the minimum position value? That is 12. 12 is greater than the jth position value. J position is 2, second position value is 15. Is it true? This is false. So min will be as it is. So your j gets increments, j is 3. So third position value is 33. 33 greater than 12 greater than 33. This is also false. If it is false, 1 will be as it is and then j gets increment 4. Fourth position element, so that is 12 is going to be compared with the fourth position element, that is 14. Again it is false. If it is false, MP is not going to be changed. J gets increments, j is 5. 5 less than 5 is false. It will come out of the loop and then we have a swap operation. Swap between what? A of I and A of min position. So A of I and min position are same. So it will be swap in the same position itself. So that is, so after swap you will get 11, 12, 15, 33 and 14. So now how many elements got sorted? Only 2 elements got sorted. Now I gets increments, I is 2 and j starts with what? Your j starts with 3, 2 plus 1 is 3 and then MP is equal to what? I is nothing but 2. So now that is nothing but this is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now, so second position element is nothing but 15. So 15 is going to compare with the third position element, that is 33. So 15 is greater than 33, that is false. It will be 2 as it is. Okay, next your j gets increments, j is 4. So now your 15 is going to compare with 14. So now 15 is greater than 14. Yes, true. If it is true, j is going to be copied to MP, that is 4. So MP value is what? So minimum position value is what? 4 now. J gets increments, j is 5, 5 less than 5 is false. It will come out of the loop. Once it come out of the loop, swap operation has to be performed between A of I and MP. What is I? I is I is 2 and the fourth position element. So that is MP is 4. So second position and the fourth position element has to be swapped. After swap, so elements are what? 11, 12, 14, 33 and 15 we are going to get. So these three elements got sorted. So now I gets increments. So if I gets increments, what happens? So if I gets increments, I is 3. So what is J? 3 plus 1 is 4 and MP is 3 as it is, right? So now third position value MP, that is third position value, what is in the third position? We have 33. 33 is greater than jth position value, that is the fourth position value. What is in the fourth position? We have 15. 33 is greater than 15. Yes, true. So copy J value to MP. See, copy J value to MP. So what is MP now? 4. So J gets increments 5, 5 less than 5 is false, it will come out of the loop. And then, so before going to the next step, we need to do what? Swapping between the fourth position value and the third position value. So these two elements get sorted. So swapped. Okay. So now the array elements are 11, 12, 14, 15 and 33. Okay. Now I gets increments. I is 4. 4 less than 4 is false. Why? Because I runs from 0 to n minus 2. Why? Because fourth position we have 14, but after 33, after 33 we don't have any elements. So because of that reason, this end up with what? N minus 2. Okay. So after this, all the elements got sorted. So in this fashion. Okay. So like this we can sort the given array elements. Okay. Next, let us see how to do the analysis for this selection sort. So that is nothing but the time efficiency. So let us calculate the time efficiency for the selection sort. So let us do the analysis for selection sort. Okay. So analysis. So in order to do the analysis, what is the first step? So first step, we need to identify the parameters. That is size of the input n, right? Second step, what is the basic operation, right? So the basic operation is what? Comparison, right? That is, for each step we are comparing what? A of MP is greater than A of J. We are going to check. Third step, the third step is to the number of times the BO executed, is it based on input size. Obviously here we need to check for all the elements, right? We are going to do the comparison between all the elements that is present in the given array, right? So because of that reason, definitely the number of times the basic operation, that is the comparison, is going to be executed is based on what? The input size only. So therefore there is no best case and average case, right? So now the fourth step is we need to set up what? The summation equation. Since the selection sort, whatever we have written, it is in the sequential order, okay, or else the algorithm whatever we have written, it is iterative algorithm. So we need to set up what? The summation equation. So what is that summation equation? Is T of n, that is the number of times the basic operation executed, is equal to, okay, the summation. So where we need to look into, so where actually the basic operation is present, on top of that what all the for loops we have, we need to take as a summation equation, right? So what are all those? So first one is I starts with 0 to n minus 2. So let me write the first summation, that is I starts with 0 to n minus 2. The second summation, what is the second summation? J starts with I plus 1 to n minus 1. So J starts with I plus 1 to n minus 1, and for each for loop we are going to execute what? The basic operation, that is the comparison operation we are performing, right? So which will take 1 unit of time. So that is into 1. Okay, so this is the summation equation. In the fifth step, we need to solve for this T of n. Therefore, what is the T of n? So already we have learned how to solve the summation equation. So that is nothing but, first, if you have more than one summation equation, we need to solve the innermost first, and then we need to apply for the outermost. So let us solve it. And one more thing, we can solve it simultaneously, but it is not independent on each other. Okay, this is dependent on each other. Since I is the variable and here j starts with what? I plus 1. So because of this reason, we can't separately or we can't simultaneously solve the summation equation. So because of that reason, firstly we need to solve the innermost summation equation, then we need to solve for the outermost equation. Let us solve this. Okay, so summation I is equal to 0 to n minus 2. So here you have 1, right? So if you have a constant term, then we need to apply what? Upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. That is, what is upper bound? N minus 1 minus I plus 1. So minus into minus is minus 1 plus 1. So here plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled. You remain with what? N minus 1 minus I. Now you have how many terms? N, 1 and I. That is 3 different terms you have. Now you need to apply the summation for each and every term here. Okay. Now if you apply that summation, now what happens? I is equal to 0 to n minus 2 n minus summation I is equal to 0 to n minus 2 1 minus another I we have, that is summation I starts with 0 to n minus 2 I, right? So now we need to solve separately, okay, the summation equation. So if you consider this one n, so this is a constant term, right? So if you have a constant, again upper bound minus lower bound plus 1 formula only we need to apply. Take n outside and then n minus 2 minus lower bound is 0 plus 1, right? Minus, here also we have a constant, therefore upper bound minus lower bound plus 1, right? Next summation, here we have a what? I is equal to 0 to n minus 2 I we have. Therefore, we need to go with n into n plus 1 divided by 2 formula. So, just replace n by what? N minus 2. What you will get? N minus 2 plus 1. So, you will get n minus 1 and n minus 2. Minus 2 minus plus 1 is minus 1. So, substitute this value here. So, you will get what? N minus 1, n minus 2 divided by 2. So, here n minus 2 plus 1, this will become what? N minus 1, right? So, if you consider this one, here also n minus 1. So, you have n into n minus 1, n minus 1, n minus 1 into n minus 2. So, now what will, if you take the common factor n minus 1 outside, what you will get? N you have minus 1 minus, you have left out with what? N minus 2 divided by 2 you will get. So, now if you take the LCM here, what happens? Your T of n is equal to, if you take the LCM 2 here, so n minus 1 is common factor, already we have taken. Now, if you take the LCM, 2n minus 1 into 2 is 2 minus n minus into minus is plus 2, right? So, minus 2 plus 2 get cancelled. You have left out with 2n minus n is n. So, this will be n into n minus 1 divided by 2, which will be equal to n square by 2 approximately. So, your T of n belongs to big O of n square, right? So this is your time efficiency of your algorithm. What is the time efficiency? The number of times the basic operation executed. This is nothing but n into n minus 1 divided by 2. That is nothing but n square by 2 minus n by 2. Okay, but here we can neglect the lower order term. So since we need to represent in what? Order of growth of the algorithm. So your T of n belongs to big O of n square. Okay, so this is about the analysis of your algorithm, that is nothing but calculating the time efficiency for the algorithm. Therefore, what is the time efficiency for your selection sort? That is nothing but n square times. So, T of n belongs to big O of n square. Okay, in the next class we are going to learn the bubble sort. Okay, the same methodology, but the logic may change. That's it. Okay, thank you.